Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Old Time Rock and Roll. I'm your host, David Tare, where I've been featuring my personal top 3,000 songs of the rock era from 1954 to 1999. Today I'm up to song number 2810. This may surprise some of you, but I picked a song by Frank Sinatra, namely the theme from New York, New York. This came out in 1980. It was his last top 40 hit. And I guess I'll start by talking a little bit about this song. It was actually originally recorded by Liza Minnelli, and it was used in a movie from 1977, also starring Robert De Niro. The movie was called New York, New York, as you might expect. I never saw this movie. I heard it wasn't that good. I think I saw a few minutes of it on TV once. It didn't look that great, but anyway, it is a good song. I do think I prefer Frank's version from Liza's. I've heard her version too. Um, and anyway, I want to talk more about Frank Sinatra. And oh, here's a picture of Liza's single. She did release it as a single. It bubbled under the top 100. It went to number 104. I think Frank's version went to number 32, so his did better. Wasn't a huge hit. He had most of his big hits early. I'll get into that. But here's a picture of Frank Sinatra. Very iconic face. I think just about everybody in the world recognizes him. He had a couple nicknames. He went by chairman of the board and later by Old Blue Eyes. Was a very handsome man. He had these big, bright blue eyes. I guess you can't really see him in this picture, but anyway, yeah, he was born in 1915 in Hoboken, New Jersey. He died in 1998 at age 82 in Los Angeles. He had a very, very long career. He started, in music in the 30s, and he pretty much, I think, kept performing until he died. So he had a career lasting about 60 years. He had just dozens and dozens of hits. Not only was he a singer and songwriter, he was also in a lot of movies. He was a very good actor as well. Even directed a few movies. I'll get into that too. But I guess I just want to start by talking about his hits. He, like I said, he had dozens of hits. I can't list them all for you. I'm just gonna go through his number ones. I think his heyday was in the 1940s, before rock and roll, and I don't think he could really be considered a rock and roll artist. I mean, I don't think he even liked rock and roll. Kind of ironic because his daughter Nancy actually became a pretty famous rock and roll musician in the 60s. I feature some of her songs on my list too. By the way, I have 8 songs by Frank Sinatra on my list. This is the last of them. The theme from New York, New York. I think he was an amazing singer. And I know he's not a rock artist, but I really like a lot of his songs. I don't feature any of his songs from before 1954 because I don't feature any songs from back then. And even though the songs I do feature aren't really rock songs, I think they're really good songs. I think they rock, including this one. I mean, he just had an amazing voice. And don't try to sing karaoke to him unless you're a really, really good singer. I don't think I've ever tried, and I don't think I ever will, because I just don't think I can measure up to his voice. But anyway, just let me go through his number one songs really quickly. His first was in 1940, was called I'll Never Smile Again. In 41, he had a song called Dolores. 42, he had In the Blue of Evening, and There Are Such Things. In 46, he had 5 Minutes More. In 47, he had Mademoiselle. In 55, he had Learning the Blues. 66, I guess he had a big gap. He didn't do as well during the rock era. I guess that's understandable since rock and roll was more popular by the 50s. But he did have a few other hits. His other number ones were Strangers in the Night, that came out in 1966. And he had a duet with his daughter Nancy called Something Stupid. Kind of a strange song because it's a love ballad that he sang along with his daughter. I don't know what you want to make of that. But it is a very pretty song for what it's worth. And besides his songs, he was in dozens of popular movies. I'm going to go through the movies he was in. I've seen a few of these, and the ones I've seen I've really enjoyed. So 44, he had a movie called Higher and Higher. another one called Step Lively. In 45, he had Anchors Away. In 49, he had On the Town. Most of these were musicals, by the way, and most of his movies, he sang in them. And then 51, he had Double Dynamite. 52, he had Meet Danny Wilson. 53, he had From Here to Eternity. 54, he had Young at Heart, Suddenly. 55, he had The Man with a Golden Arm. Guys and Dolls. That's one of my favorite movies, by the way. I love Guys and Dolls. He plays Nathan Detroit, and yeah, really, really excellent role for him. And he does sing a lot, sings some very good songs in there. And then he also had Not a Strategy. He actually directed that one. I think that was his debut as a director. And he also had High Society. He was in that. 57, he was in The Pride and the Passion and Pal Joey. In 58, he was in, and also The Joker's Wild. 58, he was in, actually 58 was The Joker's Wild. Some Come Running and Kings Go Forth. 59, he was in A Hole in the Head. 1960, he was in Can Can. 62, he was in The Manchurian Candidate. That's another really excellent movie, by the way. And I think I should point out by the 60s, his roles in his movies changed quite a bit. He started doing detective roles, I think, by the 60s. 65, he was in None But the Brave. And Von Ryan's Express. In 67, he was in Tony Rome. In 68, he was in Lady in Cement and The Detective. And finally, in 1980, the last movie he was in was called The First Deadly Sin, which he starred in along with Faye Dunaway. So that's his. Those were the movies he was in. Just an amazing entertainer. And anyway, I guess that completes my video for today. Thank you for watching. You guys rock, and I'll see you next time.